All right, so my name is Jada. Y'all probably know that already because you're here. And I'm a style strategist. And I've been doing styling. Honestly, I've been in fashion in general for most of my life. Like I started when I was 5 years old, like cutting up socks to make clothes for my Barbie dolls. And so like it's kind of crazy that I've been involved in it so long. But one of the things that I've always been passionate about is helping people feel confident in expressing themselves, like in their individual style. So one of the things that kind of like rubs me the wrong way when it comes to the fashion industry is that I feel like it's so heavily like inundated with the same things. Like everybody looks the same and dresses the same and shops in the same places. And when you don't dress that way or look that way, then you're like excluded, or you don't feel like you fit in, or you don't feel like you can participate because fashion doesn't include you, or maybe you just didn't have access, or you didn't have the resources to maybe have the style that you see other people having, or what's most popular, the trends and all that stuff. And so even with my upbringing, I was always finding ways to make my own clothes because we just didn't have it like that. So if I really wanted something, I had to be creative and figure out how to do it for myself. And so that's where my sense of style came from. So I've never really been I guess I've been influenced by it because I'm a human, but I've always still kind of like marched to the beat of my own drum when it comes to style. And so what I've learned is that when we are more in tune with who we are as people, then we're able to really have a style that's unique to us, that we feel comfortable and confident expressing it. And a lot of times people know how they want to dress and how they want to look, but what's stopping them is that they just don't feel like they can, or they're not sure enough to do it. And so they just need somebody who can give them that push and that courage to step out and do it. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to do. So I wanted to go into the style types, but we have Xavier here, and I want to be able to make this open to both genders or however you identify, because it's not a lot of the things, except for the style types that I'm going to talk about, are geared towards like specific people, to women, or femme identifying, or that group of people. But I do want us to, I guess, kind of like go back and really find out what we want to say about ourselves first. So I'm going to talk about the style types a little bit, and you'll know what I'm talking about once I get into them. But for now, I want us to focus on ourselves. So if you have access to like paper or pen or your notes or whatever, then this will be a good question to put down. Or if you can type in the chat, if you are not like traveling or anything, then you can respond to it in the chat. But I'm going to ask some questions, and I want you to answer the questions. So the first one is to, I want you to describe your current style in 3 to 5 words. If you had to describe what it is, what would it be? And it doesn't have to necessarily be the clothes that you have, but just think about what it is that your clothes are saying about you. Like, what is it that you feel like people think when they see you? So while you're thinking about that, I'm gonna share what mine are and what I was going for when I went through this most recent like evolution, I guess. So I was working in retail for a while. My last job was in retail. And so I worked there for 5 years. And I realized that I had got to a point where my clothes were all looking like black and navy and frumpy. And I was just realizing like I kind of didn't know what it is that I wanted to say about myself. And I if I had to describe what it was then, I think I used some of the words like frumpy. I felt like I didn't look confident. So I felt like I looked like, unsure about myself. Um, And one of the things that really bothered me is that I didn't feel like I looked creative, which is who I am. Like at my core, I'm a creative person, but I just did not feel like my clothes reflected that. And what really tipped it off for me was that someone was like, "Man, I didn't know that you were into fashion or a fashion designer." And I was like, "That's so embarrassing." It was so embarrassing. I've been doing this, y'all, since literally since I was 5 years old. I went to school for fashion design. Like fashion has been such a huge part of my life. And I thought it was crazy because it didn't look like it. So those were the words that, those are some of the words that described how I felt like I was portraying myself at the time. So I see, Renee, I think you said something. So you said that your words are comfortable, country, and unconfident. Okay, I got you. So, and Xavier, if you're traveling, whatever, you don't have to worry about responding to it. These are things that you can. I'm gonna put the replay up for you all so you can go back and see it. But um, when you look at those words, how does it make you? How does it make you feel about yourself? Like, do you feel like it is an accurate reflection of who you are? Or do you feel like there maybe has been things in your life or things that have happened in your life that have like kind of got you to this point? Because a lot of times, well, there's usually a few different kinds of people. So there's some people who maybe had a sense of style at some point and they had something happen in their lives and it impacted the way that they showed up. And there are people who just never like knew what their style was, and now they're getting to a place where they're like, I don't like this. I want to look like myself. I want to express myself, and I want to feel like the way that I show up is really like reflecting who I am, an accurate representation of me. You said this represents how I was raised, but I'm not that person anymore. Got you. Okay, that's good. That's good that you said that. So okay, so with those words, we have the words that we feel describe our current style. Now, I want you to think about the words that describe how you want to look. So what are those words? And I want to challenge you to try to think of 5, because the more that you can think of, the better. But what are the words that you want to describe who you are and, just really express yourself? So when I was thinking about what that was for me, my words were creative. I want my style to be creative. I want to feel like welcoming, like approachable, nurturing in a way. What else? I wanted to feel okay. So this one was a challenge for me because I have some ways I feel about it, but I wanted to feel sexy. So everybody has their own definition of what that means, but I want to come across as somebody who is comfortable in their own skin and not ashamed or trying to hide my body, because it's a part of me, for one, and for two, I felt like it just really was a way to it complemented me better when I wasn't trying hard to hide it or put on clothes that I was intentionally wearing in order to conceal myself. So that's another word that I had. And I like my clothes to just be a little like dramatic or like rebellious. So like my style is definitely a little like punk inspired, but I just don't like to follow the rules. even when it comes to finding, even when it comes to finding clothes in the store, like I am 99.99% of the time, I'm going to alter it in some way. I'm going to do something different with the sleeve, roll it up, add something to it, take something away, because I always felt like, especially fast fashion, just never really represented myself like fully. And so I would see something, I'd be like, it would be cute if only it had like this to it, or if it did this instead of that. So I think that my style definitely has like a little rebellious part to it. So those are some of the words that I have. And then I like to just be bright. I don't always I don't always wear colorful things, but even like you see my earrings now are orange. It's my favorite color. So I just like to have like a pop of color or a print or feathers or something just that really kind of stands out and is a little unexpected. So those are those are the words that I would use to describe the style that the way that I want to show up, the way that I want my style to, what I want my style to say about me. So if you could think of those words, I would really love to see them in the chat. And I say that because it's going to be really important for the style types. So you'll see why in a second. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all so you can see what I'm talking about. But think about those words and really think about what it is that you wanted to say about you. And I'm gonna bring it up. Okay. So let's see, Renee, you said sexy, confident, fit. I like that one. Fit, bold, professional. Okay. I love it. I love it. And so I'm guessing that this is where you are now in your life. I like that a lot. Bold is one of my favorite words. I think that that's probably what the word I was looking for. I don't know if I used it, but bold is a really good word. And I think especially for people who are working in like in a space where you kind of have to like be in the forefront. I see Renee, you have an instrument, you have a violin, so you're an artist. So I'm sure that you are in front of people a lot, and so you're definitely bold. Definitely makes sense for you as a performer, entertainer, as an artist. So yeah, as an influencer, as a stylist, I really do have to be confident and comfortable with being bold so that people know what I do. So I'm about to share my screen with y'all so you can see these words. Bam. Okay. So these are the style types. So right now, these are the words. And I want to start off with the words first because I don't want you to, I want you to understand like what it is you want to say first, and then to see what it looks like in fashion form. So these are the different style types. And Xavier, this is what I was talking about when I said that some of them are more geared towards women, like ingenue, sexy, romantic are more geared towards women or femme identifying people. So I am going to share the ones for men with you once I compile them. But some of the ones like classic, elegant, natural, those dramatic, those are ones that go no matter what gender you identify with. And even gammon, punky, sporty, all of that. So you can still kind of get an idea of what it is that you want your style to look like. And then the wording is going to be a little different. So, but I think that I feel like you might be more on the classic side. So you can let me know whenever you're able to. But so these are the words. So the first style type is classic. So classic is timeless, dependable, practical, conservative, and balanced. And so the balance is a balance of masculine and feminine. And so one of the first things that I feel like is definitely a staple in a classic style type is like structured blazers, suits, things that kind of play on structure and like flowing kind of things. So like if you're a classic style type, you might have like a really structured blazer and some pants that are just like flowy or wide leg, or maybe even a skirt. So it's just like that balance of those, a lot of solid colors. If there are prints, the prints are like classic prints like plaid or like houndstooth, and they're not big ones or bold ones. They're very like contained kind of prints. So that's the first style type. The second one is an elegant style type. And so elegant is it's a blend of, I've combined two of them and I'll explain why in a minute, but the elegant style type, the words that would describe them are quality, luxury, sophisticated, minimalistic, poised, defined, polished, ethereal, and wise. So This one is easier for me to show you than to tell you, but if any of those words resonate with you, or especially if at least two or three of those words resonate with you, then you might be an elegant style type. The next one is the natural style type. So a natural style type is easygoing, laid back, simple, relaxed, open-minded, confident, functional, and formal. And so again, these are all the words that would describe you as a person and not necessarily what your clothes look like. So if these words are what you feel that you want to portray or what you feel like you portray, then this would be the closest style type to identify who you are and express yourself adequately. The next one is dramatic. I'm chuckling because dramatic is definitely like one of my style types. So dramatic is bold, unusual, exciting, independent, statement, intense, theatrical, sharp, powerful, avant-garde, and masculine. And so masculine, it just refers to some of the features that would be involved in the clothes. So like sharp edges, like, like, again, like blazers or blazer shoulder pads, things like that add some structure to it, that are like kind of like angles. Those are all masculine features when it comes to fashion. The next one is ingenue. Ingenue is warm, innocent, delicate, youthful, princess, feminine, soft, endearing, and kind. So this one is this one's an interesting one. Again, I'm going to try to, we have a few more minutes. So I'm going to try to get to some of the pictures of them. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. The next one is sexy, romantic, which is also another one of mine. Liberated, daring, glamorous, flirtatious, seductive, womanly, delicate, detailed. So sexy or romantic style type. Creative style type is eclectic, artsy, rebellious, offbeat, unique. And this one is important to note because the creative style type is also going to be really encompass people who are into kind of like dressing up, like almost like, can't think of what it's called right now, cosplay. There we go, like cosplay, people who are just like, that's how like their norm, like they really just dress in things that are just really unique. It's almost like they're wearing art, right? So that's a creative style type. And then gammon. Gammon is another one of mine. So the gammon style type is spunky, punk, playful, energetic, sporty, or casual. So these are the different style types. And with the style types, most people fall under 2 to 3 categories when it comes to the style types. And something important to note is that when it comes to identifying like which one looks best on you, this is something that's best done with a friend, or with somebody that you trust to like kind of look at you and tell you based off of like your facial features, really just your facial features. It'll really define which one of these also looks best. But the reason why I'm showing you the words is because a lot of times we can feel what it is that really matches us, but sometimes we can have different influences that have maybe impacted what we believe we can get away with or what we can wear, i.e., body norms and, fat shaming, all the other things that we have up against us when it comes to fashion. But deep down, we usually know what looks, or we can feel what looks best on us. But having some outside eyes helps us kind of like, gives us that confidence, like, okay, no, this is really who you are, and just kind of like bolstering that. So those are the different style types. Now, what I would like you to do as I bring up the pictures, and again, Xavier, I apologize. I really am going to do one just for the guys. So that's coming up, but the pictures are going to be mostly women styles. But depending on the words, some of the words, let me know if any of these kind of sound like they might be your style too. And then we can figure out how that converts when it comes to men's fashion. So for that part, y'all, while I'm bringing up the boards on Pinterest, you can come off mute and let me know what you think. Which styles so far sound like they resonate with you? You come off and let me know. I'm gonna bring it up while you guys do that. I would really like to hear if you heard any ones that sound like you, Renee.
Um, I definitely feel like there's more than one that kind of represents me.
Okay, let me hear it.
Um, like the elegant one, a little bit of the dramatic one, and the sexy romantic one.
Nice. Good. Okay, so say it one more time. You said elegant, right? You said sexy
Mm-hmm.
romantic, and what was the third one?
Dramatic is the other one.
Dramatic. Okay. Yeah, looking at your face, like in your picture, I can definitely see those making sense for your stuff, for who you are, and just like your face overall. Like, that's really good. So, which one do you feel is like the strongest one if you had to pick, or do you feel like there's like a good balance?
Ooh, I would say the weakest one would probably be the elegant one.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's so you can see. But are there any that you saw, Xavier, or any words that you heard that stood out for you, or do you have your words yet?
Um, I would definitely say, you know, elegant style really like I guess like spoke out to me with like quality, wise and like minimalistic. You
Uh
know,
huh.
that really spoke to me. And then natural style type. And then
Nice.
uh the classic style type. But I would definitely say like elegant and natural is like the
The top.
strongest too.
Gotcha. Okay. That is good. Thank you for sharing. All right, so I got the pictures up. I only have a few minutes,